On this week's spooky episode of the Rambler Sports Locker, men's soccer lost for the first time in October, and RSL reporter Ioana Kakados walks us through the number 10.
Also, women's soccer accomplishes something for the first time in the MVC, and RSL reporter Jasmine Marcos has a close-up on Chicago Bulls guard Zach LaVine.
Welcome back to this week's Halloween special edition of the Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Michael Fasto.
And I'm Connor Bergen. As you can see, Michael and I have both dressed up in our finest costumes for the Halloween season. I am NBA guard CJ McCollum of my hometown Portland Trailblazers. Michael, who are you this evening?
I am the knockoff Ron Burgundy.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I try my best.
Moving back into sports mode now, the Loyola women's soccer team clinched the regular season NBC championship last Thursday, October 25th, against the Evansville Purple Aces at Loyola Soccer Park. The title-clinching victory came in convincing fashion as the Ramblers cruised past the Purple Aces 6-1. Senior Madison Kimball sparked the offense all night, scoring 1 goal in the first half and 2 more in the second for her first career hat-trick. In total, 4 Ramblers joined in on the scoring party, with senior Eleni Carr's goal in the 76th minute serving as the final icing on the cake. The 6 goals scored are the most ever scored by Loyola in an MVC game. Kimball's hat-trick helped her win MVC Offensive Player of the Week honors, which was announced on Monday, October 29th. This was her first weekly honor of her collegiate career. The Ramblers Conference title is the program's first since 2008, when Loyola was still a member of the Horizon League, and it is Loyola's first outright league title since 1998. The top place finish sets up Loyola with the number 1 seed in the MVC Conference tournament. The Ramblers, now sitting with a record of 9-6-1, are set to play 4th seed Illinois State in the semifinals Friday, November 2nd at Loyola Soccer Park.
The men's soccer team suffered their first loss in Missouri Valley Conference play on Saturday, October 27th. The Ramblers were defeated by Central Arkansas in a tight 1-0 match. An early goal for Central Arkansas in the 6th minute of the first half put Loyola behind. Senior midfielder Tucker Stevenson had 2 shots and 2 corner kicks for the Ramblers, and senior Grant Stoneman got his first shot on goal with a header from a free kick in the 21st minute. In the end, the Ramblers were unable to come back from the first goal in the first half of the game, and Central Arkansas took the win. The Ramblers are still in first place in the Missouri Valley Conference and have earned a bye into the semifinals of the conference tournament. The team is now 9-5-2 on the season and will play next in Seattle, Washington against the Washington Huskies this Thursday, November 1st at 8 p.m.
After last year's Final Four run, there's a buzz around campus for the start of the upcoming men's college basketball season. On Halloween afternoon, RSL reporter Blaze Radosevich caught up with some students on campus to see how well they know their Ramblers.
So last year we did a segment where we interviewed students to see what kind of knowledge they had about the men's basketball team, and to say the least, the results were not very pretty. So we'll see if last year's Final Four run brought more students to know about the men's basketball team. So here we go. So who is the men's basketball team chaplain?
Sister Jean.
Sister Jean.
Sister Jean?
Sister Jean.
I don't know.
Okay. Tell me 3 of Loyola's returning players.
Marcus Towns, Clayton Custer, and Lucas Williamson.
Clayton Custer, Marcus Towns, and Cameron Crotway.
Clayton Custer, and Clayton Custer.
Marcus. Someone else.
Is there any chance you could tell me 3 returning starters?
Nope.
Can I throw in a guess?
Sure, go ahead.
Kobe Bryant.
Unfortunately, Kobe Bryant does not play on the north side of Chicago. And do you know who hit the game-winning shot against Miami in the first round?
Was that Dante Ingram?
Very good.
Miami, that was the first game we played, so Dante Ingram.
It wasn't Clayton Custer, I know that.
Clayton.
Good guess. It was actually Dante.
Unfortunately, no.
Who was the head coach?
Porter Moser.
Okay.
Porter Moser.
Porter Moser.
Oh, Porter whatever.
Porter whatever.
I don't know.
So what conference does Loyola play in?
The Missouri Valley Conference.
All right.
Missouri Valley.
The best one.
Oh, Missouri Valley.
NCAA? Is that a conference?
Technically, 5 for 5. Perfect. 5 for 5 right there.
Wow. Thank you.
See, you knew almost all of them. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Well, clearly we had a vast improvement from last year. I guess last year's Final Four run really did have an impact on the student body of Loyola. Well, yeah, with 1 week to go, clearly there's a lot of excitement here on campus. For RSL, I'm Blaze Radosevich.
Thanks, Blaze. The women's volleyball team was busy this past weekend, playing 3 games in 4 days. On Friday, October 26th, the team started off the stretch with a 3-0 sweep over the Drake Bulldogs on the road. Although Loyola took care of business in straight sets, the match was still tight as the Ramblers won each set by a margin of only 2 points. Junior Quinn Speaker and senior Gabby Machikowski each tallied 11 kills to lead the Ramblers in the match. Speaker also pitched in 10 digs to give the outside hitter her 8th double-double of the year, a team best. This victory comes after Drake beat Loyola in Gentile in their first meeting this season. The very next day, on October 27th, the Ramblers traveled to Cedar Falls, Iowa, where they went down in 3 sets to league-leading Northern Iowa. The Panthers' 3-0 win gave them the season sweep over Loyola and snapped the Ramblers' 3-game win streak. No Ramblers reached double digits in kills on the night as Speaker and senior Morgan Gresham each led the team with 9 kills in the losing effort. On Monday, October 29th, the Ramblers returned to Gentile Arena and their winning ways with a victory over Southern Illinois. RSL reporter Eric Moran has more on that match.
I am here on the court at Gentile Arena after the Loyola Ramblers women's volleyball team took on the Southern Illinois Salukis, beating them by a score of 3-0. In the first set, things weren't going too well for the Ramblers as they were down late in the set 20-16. Head coach Amanda Berkeley decided to call a timeout, and Quinn Speaker and Heather Koken ignited the comeback, and the Ramblers won the set 25-23. In the second set, the Ramblers and the Salukis went back and forth as the Ramblers ran away with it, winning that set 25-21. In the third set, the Ramblers dominated, winning that set 25-19. Quinn Speaker made a big impact in today's game, and she led the Ramblers with 12 kills. This was the Ramblers' 4th win in their last 5 games. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Eric Moran.
Thank you, Eric. The victory over the Salukis put Loyola over 500 play in conference with a 7-6 record heading into their next match Friday, November 2nd against Valparaiso at Gentile Arena. The Chicago Bulls are off to a slow start, but one of their key pieces is having a career year.
RSL reporter Jasmine Marcos discusses Chicago Bulls star Zach LaVine in today's Chicago Close-Up.
Thanks, Connor. For this Halloween episode, I dressed up as a witch. On this week's Chicago Close-Up, I'll be taking a closer look at Chicago Bulls guard Zach LaVine. Most know Zach LaVine as a young guard from UCLA who burst onto the scene as a back-to-back slam dunk contest champion in 2015 and 2016. Yet despite his already sustained record of success, he's never had the season like he's having so far in 2018. In the first 7 games this season, LaVine is averaging a career-high 29.3 points per game, which is good for 5th in the NBA. His 52.5 shooting percentage is 4th among all NBA guards, and his 34.5 usage rate ranks 4th among all players. Clearly, head coach Fred Hoiberg has made his young guard the main focal point of the Bulls' offensive attack. One of the most important developments in LaVine's game has been his ability to hit the three-point shot, which he's currently doing at a career-high clip of 40%. With defenders now respecting his long-range shot, LaVine has become one of the most lethal offensive weapons in basketball. He's also become the Bulls' leaders in the clutch, as seen last Friday night against the Charlotte Hornets. With the game tied at 110 with just 10 seconds left, the Bulls gave the ball to LaVine, who got fouled driving to the basket before calmly sinking 2 huge free throws to key the Bulls' 112-110 win. As one of the main pieces of this Bulls rebuild, Chicago fans have to be excited about what they're seeing so far from Zach LaVine. And while the Bulls might be struggling with a 2-5 record, they might just have found their next star player. For For Chicago Close-Up, I'm Jasmine Marcos. Back to you at the desk.
In MLB news, the Boston Red Sox defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series on Sunday, October 28th. The Red Sox dominated the series, winning the first 2 games in Boston. In a very close third game, the Dodgers pulled out their first win and only win of the series after a walk-off homer in the 18th inning. But the Red Sox were back to their winning ways, claiming Game 4 and 5 in LA. Boston first baseman Steve Pearce was named the World Series MVP after he hit 2 home runs in the 5th game. Pearce is now a free agent who hopes to re-sign with Boston next season. This is the 9th time the Red Sox have won the World Series, meaning next time will be number 10. RSL reporter Ioana Kakatos has more on the number 10 in this week's By the Number.
Thanks, Michael. Happy Halloween from your RSL Angel. For this week's By the Numbers, I'll be taking a closer look at the number 10. The Bears defeated the New York Jets on Sunday, October 28th at Soldier Field. During the game, quarterback Mitch Trubisky, who wears the number 10, successfully executed a pass to Tariq Cohen, giving the Bears a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. This play set the confidence from the Bears for the rest of the game. While the Jets tried to make a comeback, it was not enough to beat the Bears, who came back with an 8-play, setting their 24-10 win. The Bears will play next on Sunday, November 4th against the Buffalo Bills. The Denver Nuggets scored 10 points in overtime on Wednesday, October 31st to defeat the Bulls. Jokic had 9 total assists to finish one shy of a triple-double, but was having an off-shooting night until the final minutes of overtime. The Nuggets took the lead on a third-pointer by Jokic, who had 8 of Denver's 10 points in overtime. The Bulls have started off this season with 2 wins and 6 losses. The Bulls will play their 10th game this season on Saturday, November 3rd, against the Houston Rockets. In Loyola news, the women's and men's soccer teams will both be looking for their 10th win of the season this Friday, November 2nd. Men's soccer currently sits in first place in the Missouri Valley Conference and will share the regular season title if Missouri State beats Central Arkansas on Saturday, November 3rd. For women's soccer, a win over Illinois State would guarantee Loyola a spot in the championship game of the 2018 Missouri Valley Conference Women's Soccer Championship. They would face the winner of the semifinals featuring 2nd-seeded Drake and 6th-seeded Evansville on Sunday, November 4th for the Valley's automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. That's it for this week's By the Numbers. I'm Ioana Kikatos. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Ioana. Wouldn't it be cool if both men's and women's team won the MVC tournament this year?
Yeah, on top of last year's Final Four run, it would be a pretty amazing time for Loyola Athletics. For our full episodes and the chance to get in on the conversation, follow and like our social media handles for an up-to-date look at all things Rambler Sports.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Michael Faso.
And I'm Connor Bergen. On behalf of all of RSL, we hope you had a fun Halloween night and are already thinking ahead to what you'll dress up as next year.
For now, though, it's Christmas music season.
Check back next week for another episode of the Rambler Sports Locker.
And as always, don't forget to turn out the lights.